Welcome to Classy Deco, where timeless elegance meets cozy charm. In today's video, we're diving into the heartwarming world of the Autumn Grandmacore Aesthetic, blending vintage countryside elegance with cozy, nostalgic vibes. Think warm fireplaces, heirloom quilts, and the soft glow of lantern light in a rustic setting. We've curated 15 unique concepts to transform your home into a haven of autumnal comfort and vintage charm. From floral tapestries to antique teacups, each idea captures the essence of Grandmacore style, perfect for creating a space that feels like a warm hug from the past. Join us as we explore these inspiring ideas to bring cozy sophistication to your home this fall. Let's get started. Imagine a nook draped in a patchwork quilt, handmade with love, its muted autumnal hues of burgundy, mustard, and sage blending seamlessly. A worn wooden rocking chair sits by a small round table, adorned with a lace doily and a vintage teapot. The air carries a faint scent of cinnamon and dried apples, evoking memories of crisp fall evenings. Soft sunlight filters through a sheer curtain, casting delicate shadows on a faded floral rug. Add a basket of yarn and a stack of old books for a touch of lived-in charm. This corner feels like a warm embrace, inviting quiet moments with a cup of tea, wrapped in nostalgia and countryside serenity. Picture a rustic wooden shelf illuminated by a cluster of vintage lanterns, their soft golden light flickering against exposed brick. Each lantern, slightly tarnished, holds a story, some with intricate filigree, others simple and sturdy. Pair them with ivy garlands and small pumpkins for an autumnal touch. The warm glow highlights a collection of mismatched china plates displayed upright, their floral patterns echoing the countryside. A faint crackle from a nearby fireplace adds to the cozy ambience. This setup feels intimate, like a quiet evening in a rural cottage, where time slows down, and every glow feels like a cherished memory brought to life. Envision a long oak dining table, its surface weathered yet polished, set with heirloom china and silverware that gleams softly under a chandelier. A burlap runner, fringed at the ends, holds a centerpiece of dried wheat, pomegranates, and amber glassware. Each place setting features a cloth napkin tied with twine and a sprig of rosemary. The room smells of baked bread and mulled wine, evoking family gatherings of yesteryears. Vintage portraits in ornate frames hang on the walls, adding a touch of grandeur. This dining space feels like a celebration of heritage, where every meal is a moment of connection and timeless elegance. Step into a room wrapped in vintage floral wallpaper, its soft roses and peonies in muted pinks and greens creating a serene backdrop. A plush velvet armchair in deep burgundy sits beside a brass floor lamp, its fringed shade casting a warm glow. A small side table holds a stack of poetry books and a porcelain teacup with a delicate saucer. The floor, covered in a faded Persian rug, adds texture and warmth. The space feels like a secret retreat, where you can curl up with a book and lose yourself in the gentle beauty of autumn's embrace, surrounded by nostalgic elegance. Imagine a towering bookshelf of reclaimed wood, its shelves brimming with leather-bound books and vintage trinkets. Small terracotta pots with dried lavender sit alongside brass candlesticks, their wax drippings adding character. A woven throw blanket drapes over a nearby ladder-back chair, inviting you to sit and read. The scent of aged paper and cedarwood fills the air, while soft autumn light streams through a window framed by lace curtains. This retreat feels like a scholar's haven, blending rustic simplicity with the warmth of grandmacore charm, perfect for quiet afternoons lost in stories of the past. Picture a hallway lined with antique mirrors in ornate gold frames, each reflecting soft autumn light from a nearby window. Below, a narrow console table holds a collection of vintage perfume bottles and dried hydrangeas in a chipped ceramic vase. The mirrors, some slightly fogged with age, create a sense of depth and history. A braided rug in earthy tones runs along the floor, grounding the space. The air feels crisp, with a hint of rosewater lingering. This gallery feels like a journey through time, where every reflection tells a story of elegance and countryside nostalgia, perfect for a grandmacore-inspired home. Envision a cozy living room corner with a deep-set armchair draped in a chunky knitted throw in warm ochre tones. A wooden stool holds a tray with a teapot, mismatched cups, and a plate of homemade biscuits. The walls, painted a soft cream, are adorned with embroidered samplers in simple wooden frames. A faint crackle from a nearby log fire adds warmth, while the scent of lavender and vanilla fills the air. This sanctuary feels like a grandmother's embrace, blending rustic simplicity with heartfelt details, creating a space that invites relaxation and cherished memories of autumn evenings. Imagine a stack of vintage suitcases, their leather worn and brass latches tarnished, arranged as a unique side table. Atop sits a small lamp with a stained glass shade, casting colorful patterns across a floral rug. A collection of old postcards and a porcelain figurine add personality. The suitcases, in muted greens and browns, evoke travels from decades past. The air carries a faint scent of leather and clove, enhancing the nostalgic vibe. This display feels like a treasure trove of memories, blending countryside elegance with grandmacore charm, perfect for a cozy autumn corner that sparks storytelling. Picture a window nook framed by embroidered curtains, their delicate floral patterns dancing in the autumn breeze. A cushioned bench below is piled with velvet pillows in jewel tones, emerald, ruby, and sapphire. A small wicker basket holds rolled-up quilts, ready for chilly evenings. The scent of dried oranges and cloves wafts through the air, while a nearby side table displays a vintage clock and a single rose in a glass vase. This nook feels like a quiet escape, where the blend of intricate embroidery and rustic textures creates a grandmacore haven of warmth and elegance. Envision a stone fireplace mantel adorned with a garland of dried leaves and pine cones, interspersed with small amber jars. Flanking the garland are brass candelabras, their candles dripping wax onto the stone. A large oval mirror above reflects the warm glow, amplifying the cozy ambience. The hearth below crackles softly, and a nearby rocking chair holds a plaid blanket. The air smells of wood smoke and apple cider. This mantel feels like the heart of a countryside home, blending vintage elegance with autumnal warmth, creating a grandmacore focal point that invites gathering and storytelling. Imagine a bedroom with a wrought iron bed draped in a patchwork bedspread, its squares of burgundy, olive, and cream telling stories of generations past. Fluffy pillows and lace-edged cases lean against a carved headboard. A bedside table holds a ceramic pitcher and a stack of old novels, their pages yellowed. The room smells of lavender sachets tucked into drawers. A braided rug adds warmth underfoot, while soft light filters through sheer curtains. This retreat feels like a cozy escape, where grandmacore charm and vintage countryside elegance create a serene space for restful autumn nights. Picture a glass-fronted cabinet displaying a collection of vintage teacups, each with delicate floral designs and gold rims. The cabinet, painted a soft sage green, sits against a wall with faded striped wallpaper. A small round table nearby holds a lace tablecloth and a tiered stand with scones and jam. The air carries the scent of chamomile tea, evoking afternoon gatherings. A plush chair with a knitted cushion invites you to sit and admire the collection. This setup feels like a celebration of timeless elegance, blending grandmacore nostalgia with the warmth of a countryside tea room. Envision a corner with large wicker baskets, their woven textures adding rustic charm. Each basket holds rolled-up quilts, vintage linens, or knitted scarves in autumnal hues of rust and mustard. A low wooden bench beside them is topped with a cushion in floral fabric. The scent of cedar and dried herbs fills the air, while a nearby window lets in soft autumn light. A small brass lantern adds a warm glow at dusk. This storage setup feels practical yet nostalgic, blending grandmacore functionality with countryside elegance, creating a cozy corner that's both beautiful and useful. Imagine a dining room with a round table draped in a delicate lace tablecloth, its intricate patterns glowing under candlelight. The table is set with vintage plates, each with a different floral motif, and tarnished silver cutlery. A centerpiece of dried lavender and pomegranates sits in a wooden bowl. The air smells of roasted chestnuts and mulled cider, evoking autumn feasts. Worn wooden chairs with cushioned seats add rustic charm. This dining space feels like a gathering place for family stories, where grandmacore elegance meets countryside warmth, creating a timeless and inviting atmosphere. Picture a cozy corner with a tall grandfather clock, its wooden case polished but worn, ticking softly in the quiet. A small round table beside it holds a lace doily, a brass candlestick, and a single dried rose in a vase. The floor is covered with a faded oriental rug, and a cushioned armchair invites you to sit. The air carries the scent of polished wood and faint lavender. This corner feels like a pause in time, where grandmacore nostalgia and vintage countryside elegance blend to create a serene space for reflection and quiet moments.